This is Beyond the Cot, a weekly podcast connecting the packs of F3 Knoxville and beyond through invigorating male community leadership, through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Avengers!
Assemble.
38 school zone.
School zone. 34 strip.
40 kickflip. 56 high heels.
High heels, respect. 37 trunk.
The F3 Knoxville Beyond the Cot podcast starts right now.
What is up, F3 Knoxville? This is Steam, and welcome back to your weekly launch point. This is Beyond the Cot, the F3 Knoxville podcast, and tonight I am joined by a special guest who you are going to hear from not once this week, but twice. On both episodes, we're dropping our weekly launch point and our Beyond the Cot episode this Thursday. We're going to hear a lot about a really cool event that happened this past weekend. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the second FQ, Mermaid. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, thank you. It's not the man, the myth, the legend. It's the man, the myth, the mermaid. So get it right, Steve.
We got to make that a patch or a T-shirt or something. Man, I love it. The man, the myth, the mermaid.
I don't need a T-shirt
awesome
for that.
Well, dude, welcome. Hey, so for all you listeners at home, we have an episode dropping later this week on Thursday, and you talk about F3 in the Nude with Blindside and myself and some of the cool things you're up to with the second F stuff. So I'm pumped about that. We're really excited to have you on the show. You're our first guest here in a while.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here, and thanks for taking time out of your all's days to put this together. I'm not really a podcast guy. My commute's too short. It'd take me about a week to listen to a 20-minute podcast, but I'm going to have to start tuning in.
Hey, there you go. Just feel free to give us a 5-star review, like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcast. Typically Spotify, Apple Podcasts. But, man, welcome. We're sincerely stoked you're here. OnStar is out doing some work this week. He's traveling. Blindside was also working this week. But we are full support on the weekly lunch point. And on our Tuesday show, so we are going to be dropping our weekly launch points on Tuesday now, just so we can give ourselves a little more room to record, get some of the updates, some cool things that are happening around the region. But where we want to start off tonight is to talk about the Q-Source content from this week. So in the F3 Knoxville newsletter that Kickflip sends out every Sunday, there always is a piece of the email that's about the Q-Source content that we're going to be focusing on this week. A lot of shield locks are probably going to be talking about this week. And so this week, the emphasis is on the general alignment of skill within a shared leadership team, or a SLT. And so, Mermaid, what I'd like to do is I'll cover basically the big picture items from this week's content. We won't go over the whole thing. And then there's 3 questions that are also included, things that will make you think, hopefully, this weekend. And then we'll just talk about it for a little bit. So the general alignment of skill within a shared leadership team. This is Q point 3.2 from the Q source. So number 1, competence is critical to group prosperity. Number 2, mutual competence is an essential element of shared leadership. And then number 3, mutual competence starts with the Q's individual competence. And then the 3 questions that we're going to be asking ourselves this week, you should be asking yourself this week, is competence important to group success? Does every member of a team have to be equally competent? And how competent must the leader be? So, Mermaid, what do you think about this week's Q-Source content? When you think about a SLT, which we both are privileged to serve on here in Knoxville, but the general alignment of skill within a SLT. What pops out to you when you think about maybe our team specifically, but in general too?
You know, I don't want to call anybody out and call them incompetent, but I'm glad Blindside's gone, right?
we stopped recording for a reason, and we picked back up. No, we love you, Blindside.
I kid. He's a great guy. No, I think when I hear that statement and you relate it to a group, using our leadership team as an example, I think of balance and strengths and weaknesses. We're all different, and I might be incompetent in some particular activities. There's things I am certainly not good at. If we put my wife on here, she'd give you the long list. But the beauty of a group like that is that where I'm weak, you're strong, and we can partner together and pick each other up and help them work through these things. So that's what the beauty of a leadership team does. Is certainly you need somebody to make some decisions, but you can subcommittee some things out, and you can attack those from a point of strengths and weaknesses, and really come up with a good product.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, we're going to see things differently. We're going to hear things differently. We're lucky to have in our SLT a pretty diverse group of guys in age, obviously in life experiences. We have all of our AOQs, our first, second, third FQ, comms Q, Weasel Shaker on our team, and they all bring different perspectives to the table as we get to lead and really just serve within F3 Knoxville. But really in any SLT or any team you're on, there's going to be different levels of competence. You're right. When it comes to what different individuals have, their skill sets and their offerings that they offer the team. So have you ever seen Band of Brothers, by the way? The show?
I don't think I have. I've done, I'm not a big TV or movie guy, so I'm going to be a bad analogy helper here.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I'll take the lead on this because
We'll go incompetent. How about that?
Watch it tonight. So if you've seen the show, there's this guy named Captain Sobel, and if you know who I'm talking about in the show Band of Brothers, he is this captain who's a leader in the Army, right? And so he is just throughout the show this kind of incompetent person in a leadership role, and obviously he has the cred. He's leading a pretty massive amount of people, but this whole time he just makes bad decisions. He's just an incompetent person, and so when I think about is competence important to group success, I would personally say yes, but it can't be reliant on just one person's competence or incompetence. It has to be that shared type of team dynamic. My incompetence, with whatever it may be, there's a lot of them, is going to be made up by someone else on the team's competence, and vice versa. So I thought of that example just initially. But does every member of a team have to be equally competent, do you think?
No. You look at even baseball or football. Not everybody is of equal skill set. So that coach is going to coach to their strengths. If I don't have an offensive line that can block, probably not running the ball, You play to your strengths, and you're going to execute a game plan based on what you can do. What coach would go in there and I don't have a quarterback, so I've got a game plan where I'm going to throw the ball. So I think you scheme around your weaknesses.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. I mean, it's good. And this morning I was on Q out in F3 Smokies, and the idea or the conversation kind of took a turn after the workout of you don't have to be in a leadership position to lead. People I think sometimes have this fallacy, and it's really what it is, where people in leadership positions are the most competent people in the room, and sometimes that's the case. I think rarely it is the case. I think when it comes to how competent must the leader be, I think a leader has to be competent enough to realize his own incompetence and to surround himself with people that are hopefully more competent than him, that can sharpen his competence or her competence, and vice versa. So this type of thought and this type of content, as you are on pre-rucks. I know we talk a lot about rucking in the episode that's going to drop on Thursday. But a lot of this conversation is great to have just with people that maybe you have direct reports at work. Maybe you are leading in a certain aspect in F3. You're leading a workout, or you're leading one of our AOs, or even if you're not in a leadership role, you have leadership, whether you realize it or not. And while it does require some type of competence to lead, really, I think the best leaders lead from a place of humility, realizing that they are not the most competent person in the room.
Yeah, and even for those of us that are married or have a family, between you and your spouse or you and your kids, there's leadership decisions that have to be made. And if you're raising kids, you're a leader. You may not know that. You may do.
Yeah.
You may recognize that, but you may lead them poorly, and it doesn't matter. You're still a leader.
That's right. That's right. The book by Craig Rochelle, Winning the War in Your Mind, if you've heard of it or read it. I know that actually the Asylum AM guys are going through that together every week. Your life is moving in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So if you think I'm not a leader, I don't have what it takes to be a leader, well, you're going to move towards that. But if you think like, hey, I can serve in this way, I can lead in this way, your life is going to move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So there's some really good content in this week's Q Source. We will put that link in the show notes so you can check it out for yourself. It's packed with questions and content to make you think about your own leadership and the ways that you're serving and leading, whatever sphere of influence that you're in this week. So good stuff. Well, let's move on to T-Claps this week. We have quite a lot of them, starting off with none other than the man, the myth, the mermaid. T-Claps to you and Slappy for F3 in the nude. You're going to talk a lot about this on the episode that drops Thursday, but in 30 seconds, like from a 90,000 foot view, give us a rundown on what meant the most to you from F3 in the nude, an awesome event that just happened this past weekend.
Yeah, thank you. So 30,000 foot view, it was a whim. It's a workout that I did in F3 Charleston on Folly Beach, or at least aspects of it. And I met a bunch of guys, no shoes, no shirt, no gloves, in and out of the ocean. And I'm telling that story to Slappy. He's like, we gotta do something like that. We'll just do an OTB. We'll just get a handful of guys. We'll meet out at the Cove and we'll do that. And so as we're talking about it, Kickflip gets wind of it over coffee one morning. And if we were going to do that, what would you want to call it? F3 in the nude. So it went from this whim to a name that started getting some publicity. F3 in the nude, shock value, no details. So we start talking about it. So it came from a whim to an event full on dog pound guys bringing breakfast, Smokey and Google and I-Beam. And so just a lot of fun. It was really it was a workout, but it was more meant to be fun. The activities we did, if you see the pictures of the guys, I mean, they're smiling, they're cutting up. I think for an hour you had some grown men acting like little boys, and really that was the concept for the day.
Man, it looked awesome, and I was bummed I could not go, but it was a great event. So thank you to Slappy and putting that on, and Kickflip too, and just like you mentioned, if you've never had a dog pound breakfast at one of our CSOPs or convergences, man, these guys know how to cook. So Google, Smokey, I-Beam, Lazy Boy, Mayberry, and others, Caveman, just for cooking breakfast for everyone after. Big part of the second F piece of that event. So T-Claps to y'all for doing that. Moving on, we have a respect Q twice last week. So T-Claps to Wedding Singer. He Q'd twice last week for his 50th birthday, but one at the Quacken and one at the Big Ball. And I can't think of a better way to ring in 50 years of being on this earth than leading other guys in a character building workout twice this year.
That's pretty special.
That is pretty special. That is pretty special. So respect to you, Wedding Singer. T-Claps to Roadblock for getting his VQ at the Quacken PM on Monday. So the Quacken PM is another PM workout we have here in F3 Knoxville. If you did not know, now you do. And Roadblock is queuing for the first time, or did queue for the first time on Monday night. So T-Claps to you for doing that, Roadblock. And T-claps to Cinco for getting his VQ at the Asylum AM on Monday as well. So two VQs this week, which is awesome. If you don't know what a VQ is, it is the first time that you lead an F3 workout. And it's a really, really neat time. It can feel like you're jumping in the deep end after you've been in F3 for a while, or maybe you've been in F3 for a week, and you just are like, man, I want to lead one of these things. Do you remember your first VQ, Mermaid? Like, what was that like for you?
Well, first of all, it's great to hear the quacking in the news. T-claps to those guys. They're doing great things out there. So a special shout out to them. I don't remember much about my VQ. I started in July, and I think it took me till about October. And like anybody, there's a lot of trepidation, and it's intimidating. I think at the time, JUCO, we weren't quite in the 30s at the time, but there's 20 dudes out there, and you're trying to get in shape, and you're trying to do your own thing, and you're really worried about what am I going to say. So there's a lot of pressure that you put on yourself, and ultimately you realize it's not that big a deal to throw a workout together, to put something together to say. And so I'd encourage everybody to do it. Call me, call Steam. We'll help you go through it. I think we both enjoy helping you. So just do it. That's my advice.
Just do it. There you go. Hey, a co-queue is a great way to get into queuing, man. I love co-queuing with guys because you get kind of a both and. You get different perspectives from two guys as they lead a workout. So, man, shoot us a DM. Shoot us a call. We'd love to help you lead your first workout at F3. If I can do it, I promise you, anyone can queue, man. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, T-claps to Shamrock, the Shamrock AO, for stealing the ghost flag, and in a strange turn of events for JUCO stealing it again, in a stranger turn of events for the Asylum PM stealing it again. I think the Asylum PM has now stolen the ghost flag twice, and I can confirm it will be at the Asylum PM this Tuesday night of this week. So will Shamrock steal it again? Mermaid, what's your take?
Well, I mean, I know of at
Last
least
week,
one.
man.
Yeah, there'll be at least one Shamrock guy there, but
All right.
But I can't tell you if there'll be more.
Man, it's kind of like you're just keeping it for a couple days, and then someone else comes and steal it, which is great. I mean, that's the kind of the purpose of the ghost flag. You want guys to come to other AOs, and I'm surprised Ramparts has not stolen it yet. So could they be coming out to the Asylum PM on Tuesday this week? I don't know.
All I gotta say is I gotta get this thing in the AM. I gotta get it in the gloom. This PM stuff is nonsense. So get it out of here.
Man, the real gloom before it's sunny, and it's a nice crisp, high 60s, maybe low 70s. You could probably wear a nice sweater or a quarter zip to the workout, maybe. The degrees tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be a high 80s tomorrow. At Tuesday.
We did go out there and steal it from Asylum PM last week, and I was promised hot weather, and I was promised miserable conditions, and I don't know. It was pretty soft for a workout. I was disappointed.
Man, it was comfortable last night.
It was fantastic.
One of the coolest nights we've had out there. But hey, if you've not heard of the Ghost Flag, it is traveling around F3 Knoxville. And it's a great way to go to another AO that maybe you haven't been to in a while. Grab a couple buddies from your AO and come out to the Asylum PM this Tuesday evening at 5:45. Just to hang out with us and steal the flag. There could be multiple AOs there. All you need is more guys from your AO than any other AO to steal the flag, and it could be yours for a limited time.
And if you have a tie, who knows? You might have to have a little friendly competition.
That's right. So we're recording this on a Monday night. I am on cue tomorrow night, Tuesday, at the Asylum PM, which we will have the ghost flag. So I am going to come up with something just real easy. If we do have two AOs there, it's going to be a walk in the park. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
Fantastic. I mean, I love to hear that. Encouraging easy workout plans, cool weather. I mean, what more could you want?
That's exactly right. That's right. Man, but T-claps to all those guys. And I'm sure there's more stories out there. To all you guys that are just doing some awesome stuff throughout F3 Knoxville. We're proud of you. So T-claps to y'all. some key dates, stuff that's coming up as we get into the rest of the week, as we get into August. Actually, we're about to head right into August. So starting with something called Sham Ruck, which the man, the myth, the mermaid, this has been going on for a while, but now it's like an official, it's an official thing, right?
Yeah, we in one of our senior leadership meetings, we talked about how there's really there's one alternative to a boot camp in Knoxville, and that's at the JUCO running event. That it's on Wednesdays, and they do running workouts, and it's fantastic. The Burbs was here for a while. I don't know how active or if it's moved to just an unofficial basis. And so we've been active on Tuesdays and Thursdays, either running or rucking for about 3 years. So officially, wow. Shamrock's a 3-day-a-week workout. Unofficially, it's been a 5-day-a-week workout. And the child, Betty and I were talking. There's no ruck workouts on the books, so we're gonna put it on the books, and we'll do a pre-blast every day and let you know how that's going to go with whether it's just a straight-up ruck or it's going to be a workout, so you can plan accordingly.
Man, I'm excited for this. This is going to be great. We have some cues already lined up for this, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm really pumped for it. So the jury's still out. Is there going to be an official Shamrock t-shirt or patch? I don't know.
We'll see who has got some graphic design skills, but my stick figures wouldn't be bought. I don't think we'd make the minimum.
I would buy it. It's great. Man, we're excited for that. So August 1st, 5:15 step off. Like you said, it's going to be great. There's a channel, Shamrock. Check it out. If you want to get into rucking, if you are in rucking and want to elevate your training, come join those guys Tuesday, Thursday mornings. We have a shovel flag handoff this Thursday, August 3rd at 5:30 at the project, which is in Oak Ridge at Bissell Park. And basically a shovel flag handoff is when the AOQ, the guy who's leading that specific site, is handing off leadership and handing off the shovel flag, which is planted at every single F3 workout, to someone else. So we have Mathlete and Biohack rocking that this week at the project. If you've not been to that or experienced that before, it really is a unique time where leadership is passed from one man to the other. Stewardship really is passed from one man to the other. And it just felt like yesterday, Mermaid, you did this with Betty, right? I mean,
that's right. Was
it last year that you handed off the flag?
Yeah, Betty's had a little over a year, about 14 months now. So
okay, cool.
And let's give a plug to Biohack and Mathlete. So those guys are friends. They do a podcast called Pints and Princesses.
Yeah, they do.
They have daughters, and so they drink some beers and talk about Disney princesses. And let's plug them, give those guys a listen as well.
That's right. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of them. I was out at the project a couple weeks ago, and man, they're doing some good stuff out there. It's really good to listen to. They take a different spin on some of the stories you probably heard 1,000 times. And man, it's cool. So yeah, definitely shout out to those guys. I mean, they have been absolutely leading with impact out there and growing the project and doing some really cool things within F3 Knoxville. So if you can be there, 5:30 Thursday, August 3rd, Bissell Park, Oak Ridge, aka the project. We also have a event coming up this Saturday. At the Quackaneo, which we mentioned earlier. It is the Go Ruck Baseline Functional Fitness Test. So Saturday, August 5th. And basically this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a functional fitness test for rucking. It's going to be at 7 a.m. at the Quackaneo. And to go into a little bit more detail on what the functional fitness test is, it's a prescribed series of events that you'll complete and also track your time with. And the idea is that you repeat the test periodically. Maybe it's every 6 months. Maybe it's sooner than that. Maybe it's every year to track your development of your rucking strength and endurance. So there's different levels. So maybe you're new to rucking and you are not just super gung-ho to throw a 60-pound ruck on your back and do this workout. You can modify the language we use in F3, this workout as well. So it accounts for different levels regardless of your experience with rucking. And Mermaid, y'all did this at Shamrock not too long ago, earlier this year, right?
Yeah, Betty led that. I think I skipped it because I didn't want to. I didn't want to play with all the sweat and heavy stuff they were doing that day. No, I don't remember what I was doing, but yeah, they did that, and I'll say good times were had by most.
By most. Hey, it's really a good as I was looking over some of the workout that they're going to do. It really is a good fitness test to kind of gauge your level of where you're at now and also where you want to go with your rucking fitness. All you need is ruck, a backpack, weight, and a sandbag. There is probably enough guys in F3 Knoxville that ruck that have gear. If you do not have that we can spread the love that way too. So this Saturday, 7 a.m. Quacking AO. You can see Lizzie. He's heading this up. He's putting a lot of messages out on Slack for guys to get involved in this as well. Moving on, we have Pax Miner. So Pax Miner is something that we actually just implemented. And essentially, you can now do your back blasts, which if you were on cue, if you did not know, you are supposed to be putting a back blast, essentially a what went down at the workout, to tag all the guys that were there, and essentially run your workout so guys can look back at it, and then also share your word that you share in the COT. All that is actually done through Slack now through a integration called Pax Miner. So we've been live for about a week. I've seen guys using it through AO channels. All you have to do is type /backblast and hit enter, and the app will guide you through the rest. So there's a template that has been set up for you. Instead of going to the website, logging in, and then posting your backblast there, it's all done right through Slack. So, Mermaid, have you posted a backblast yet or pre-blast?
Yes, posted a few of them. It's so easy, and the other method wasn't difficult, but there's just no excuse for it's so easy now. You don't have to go leave Slack. You don't have to go to another website and remember your login and kind of the clunky process. This is even easier. But I think what will really blow some guys' mind is the stats that it's going to pump out each month about who's queued, who's been where. I've seen this at some other regions outside of Knoxville that use it that I've posted at, gotten plugged into their Slack. And I think you're going to see some accountability come from this and a little friendly competition because you're going to be going, hey, Blindside, why didn't you post that back blast and count my stats in there? I'm attending. I want to get credit for it. So I think it's a healthy thing that's going to come out of this. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's been really easy so far. Very user friendly, like you said, and it will be cool to see some of the stats. We were having a conversation at the PM Second F event that we had, which Mermaid, you were also there, which was awesome. This past weekend, talking about some of the guys we have not seen in a while. Man, where's Switchgrass been, or man, where's Steam been? We haven't seen them in a while. So it's going to pump out some of that data where you can check on guys that maybe you haven't seen at a workout in a while, put the EH back on them and get them back out into community at F3. So very cool. If you have questions, talk to your AOQ about this. They'd be happy to answer your questions about that. We're still learning. We're obviously very new to this too. So any questions that you have or comments or feedback, let your AOQ know because we want to continue to improve this and make sure it's a tool that serves us well here in F3 Knoxville. So a couple more things, really two more things that we wanted to share on this weekly launch point. We are on the hunt for a ruck queue. So you've heard us talk about this before, but we are building continuing to build a really strong ruck culture here in F3 Knoxville. And we are looking for a man to step up and lead our ruck culture here in Knoxville. And while that can sound like a daunting task, one of the first things we say at F3 workouts is, hey, I'm not a professional. As part of the disclaimer. So by no means do you have to share a resume. Do you have to have a list of qualifications to serve in this role? And if you just want to connect guys to the rucking culture in Knoxville and you like rucking, we'd love to talk to you about this. Mermaid just mentioned, we're starting a new Ruck AL for guys that want to get more Ruck workouts in. We're doing some of that at our PM workouts too, and so we're looking for a guy that can step up and lead our Ruck efforts and endeavors here in F3 Knoxville. And you can shoot a message to myself, to Mermaid, to Kickflip, to Blindside. If you have questions about that, in the words of I'm probably going to mislabel this quote, but all it takes is all you got. That's all it is.
That's it.
All it takes is all you got. But yeah, if that interested you, reach out to us on Slack. I mean, we'd love to get you connected and empower you and come alongside you. Not that we're going to say, hey, you're in this role, good luck, go forth and conquer. Nope, we're going to come alongside you and help you with this role too. So still looking for that guy to lead our Ruck endeavors here in F3 Knoxville. And then one final thing that a lot of us are involved in, speaking on rucking, we just need to start talking about rucking more on the podcast. I don't think we've talked about it enough tonight, actually.
Well, we can always, how late do you want to go?
I mean, my M just went to bed, so I have until about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. But we're not going to go that long. But we have a lot of guys doing the GTE Pathfinder training program. GTE is a Grow Ruck training event. It's coming to Knoxville next April. We're going to be hosting one, and it's going to be amazing. But some of the guys that are doing that event are training through an organization called Pathfinder. And we're nearing the end of a class right now. However, if you missed out on this current class, or if you're in the current class like myself and want a fresh start, class 038 is starting November 1st and ending January 31st. And all it costs you is $35. All the training is provided, all the content is provided, all the material is provided. You'd be doing it with a group of F3 Knoxville guys that are going through this training program together. The whole goal of it is to really keep guys who are rucking and then training for the GTE consistent in their ruck training. So, Mermaid, are you doing the Pathfinder program right now?
I have not. I know Betty's doing it. I haven't jumped in there, and maybe I'll jump in on that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there are guys that have not signed up for the class that's going on now. Like, man, I really wish I would have known about that. And so it's coming here in November. But then also, for guys like me too, and maybe I'm the only guy that has done this. It's actually quite a possibility. But I'm in the class right now, but have kind of fallen off in terms of tracking my miles and missing a couple challenges that we've been doing. So if you need a fresh start or want more of a disciplined training program that's done through the context of a rucking community, we have classes 0 through 8 starting November 1st. There's going to be more info on the GTE channel here in F3 Knoxville's Slack workspace. So you'll see more info out about that as we get closer to November. So we have a lot of awesome stuff going on this week as we get into a new month of August, which is crazy. We're already here. So as we kind of close out tonight's show, Mermaid, any final thoughts? What would you say to guys in F3 Knoxville as we enter a new month, or as we exit July, enter into a new month? What should we be focusing on? What are some final thoughts for you?
We should be excited. We got a great senior leadership team. I got a lot of guys doing a lot of good things. I don't think that I could say that F3 Knoxville's ever been any stronger than we are now. And there's a lot of ways to get plugged in. And I would just challenge everybody to find a way to go a little deeper. Get somebody and rope your friends in. Give them that EH. The guys that are out there, I challenge you for a pre-ruck or go for a ruck on an off day. Get to know those guys better. You'll be better for it.
Aye, that's right. I mean, that's my story. I know that's your story with F3 too. And if you're in F3, you know at least one other guy that needs something like what we have here in F3. Man, thank you for joining us. You're going to be featured twice this week on the show. we are honored to have you with us, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. I thank you guys for having me on. And since Blindside had to bow out early, you're going to have to get him to tell his Arian Foster story. I like to rib him about that one. So it's a great story for another day. But make sure to rib him. And again, thank you guys for having me on.
You got it, brother. Well, hey, wherever you're at this week, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Go ahead and like and subscribe wherever you are listening to this podcast. And go forth and conquer the weak. Iron sharpens iron.
Thanks.